Amon Goeth was an Austrian Nazi officer and the commandant of the Płaszów concentration camp during World War II. Established in 1942 near Kraków, Poland, Płaszów served initially as a forced labor camp for Jews and later expanded into a concentration camp. Amon Goeth's management of the camp earned him the moniker the Butcher of Płaszów due to his extreme brutality, violent demeanor, and utter disregard for human life. He became infamous for his random and lethal shooting of camp inmates from the balcony of his villa, which overlooked the facility. The significance of examining Amon Goeth's role at Płaszów lies in understanding the depths of cruelty and inhumanity that characterized the Holocaust. His actions exemplified the systemic brutality that pervaded Nazi concentration camps, serving as a stark reminder of how individuals in positions of power can perpetuate enormous suffering. The study of Goeth's tenure at Płaszów is crucial in Holocaust education and remembrance, ensuring that the atrocities committed are neither forgotten nor repeated. Two notable examples serve to illustrate Goeth's impact. First, his execution of prisoners at random highlights the climate of terror he cultivated, which was designed to instill fear and obedience among the inmates. Second, his ruthless management style underscores the harsh conditions under which prisoners labored, often without adequate food, shelter, or medical care, leading to high mortality rates. Support for the idea of remembering figures like Goeth comes from Holocaust survivors who emphasize the importance of sharing their experiences to prevent history from repeating itself. Documenting Goeth's actions also serves as a crucial element in the moral and educational discourse surrounding human rights and the dangers of absolute power. However, Goeth's story is not without its controversies and challenges. Some argue that focusing on notorious individuals like Goeth risks overshadowing the broader system of violence and complicity that enabled the Holocaust. Additionally, portraying him as a monstrous aberration may inadvertently absolve the larger group of their role in these crimes. Understanding Amon Goeth's actions at Płaszów influences broader discussions on the mechanisms of genocide, the psychology of power abuse, and the importance of accountability. His reign of terror is a vital piece of the narrative that connects to the systemic nature of Nazi atrocities, reinforcing the need for vigilance against tyranny and the perpetuation of hate-fueled ideologies. Amon Goeth, often referred to as the Butcher of Płaszów, represents a notorious figure from World War II, infamous for his cruel leadership as the commandant of the Płaszów concentration camp. Understanding his early life and rise to power is essential to comprehend the foundation of his brutal legacy. Born in Vienna in 1908 to a Catholic family, Goeth's upbringing in a politically charged and post-imperial Austria exposed him to the nationalistic and anti-Semitic sentiments that pervaded much of Europe. His early involvement in radical right-wing movements, such as the Austrian branch of the Nazi Party, marked the beginning of his ascent within the ranks of the Third Reich. The significance of assessing Goeth's early life lies in understanding the psychological and ideological formations that led to his later atrocities. His rise to power within the SS, driven by fervent loyalty to Nazi ideology and ruthless ambition, made him a perfect candidate to execute the regime's genocidal policies. This trajectory exemplifies how systemic indoctrination and personal predispositions can converge to produce heinous outcomes, contributing to the broader narrative of how ordinary individuals became perpetrators of the Holocaust. Two specific examples underscore this rise. First, Goeth's early mastery of organizational skills in the SS logistics unit demonstrated his capability to efficiently execute orders, which later translated into his notorious management tactics at the Płaszów camp. Second, his quick ascension through the ranks was catalyzed by his involvement in liquidating the Kraków Ghetto, showcasing his willingness to exercise extreme violence in service of Nazi objectives. Opinions about Goeth vary, but historians largely agree that his actions were a fulfillment of Nazi policies, influenced by his ideological zeal and personal cruelty. Some argue that Goeth epitomizes the banality of evil, a concept popularized by philosopher Hannah Arendt, suggesting that monstrous acts can be committed by seemingly ordinary individuals when they are embedded in a corrupt system. However, examining Goeth's rise is not without challenges. Some narratives risk oversimplifying his monstrosity as merely a product of his environment, potentially underestimating personal choice in his brutal actions. Alternative viewpoints might explore the psychological factors and inherent sadism that distinguished Goeth from other Nazi officials. Goeth's early life and rise to power deeply impacted his subsequent reign of terror at Płaszów, directly influencing his methods of operation and interaction with prisoners. This connection underscores the importance of understanding individual biographies within the broader historical context to grasp the complexities of human behavior during the Holocaust and the mechanisms of power that facilitated it. Amon Goeth, known as the Butcher of Płaszów, was the commandant of the Płaszów concentration camp during Nazi Germany's occupation of Poland. His role there was instrumental in the camp's operations and infamous for his extreme cruelty and brutal actions. His notorious actions at Płaszów are a significant part of his legacy, serving as stark reminders of the atrocities committed during the Holocaust and highlighting the depths of human cruelty. Goeth's significance in Płaszów lies in his embodiment of the Nazi regime's brutal ideology. His direct involvement in mass executions and his sadistic treatment of prisoners are well documented. One specific example of his notorious actions was his habit of randomly shooting camp inmates from the balcony of his villa, instilling fear and demonstrating the arbitrary power he held over life and death. Another chilling instance was his role in the liquidation of the Kraków Ghetto, where he oversaw the mass deportation and murder of thousands of Jews, showcasing his ruthless efficiency and complete disregard for human life. Opinions about Goeth's actions are overwhelmingly negative, as he is often cited as a symbol of the monstrous capabilities of individuals who embraced Nazi ideology. His actions are frequently discussed in historical and educational contexts as cautionary tales about the potential for evil within authoritarian regimes. However, some might argue that focusing solely on individuals like Goeth risks oversimplifying the systemic nature of Nazi atrocities, potentially deflecting blame from the wider political and social structures that enabled such horrors. The challenges in discussing Goeth's role often involve the risk of inadvertently humanizing or sensationalizing his actions. Some historians and educators strive to maintain a balance between remembering the victims and recognizing the systemic issues that allowed such figures to commit atrocities. Moreover, some alternative viewpoints might focus on understanding the psychological and socio-political factors that lead individuals to commit such heinous acts, raising questions about accountability and the nature of evil. Goeth's actions at Płaszów are closely connected to the broader themes of dehumanization and the infrastructure of genocide. His role illustrates how individuals can become both perpetrators and instruments of larger genocidal systems. In understanding Goeth's actions, we gain insight into the mechanisms of oppression and the importance of vigilance in preventing the recurrence of such atrocities. By studying figures like Goeth, historians and educators aim to underscore the necessity of remembering history to prevent future tragedies. Psychological profile and examination of motivations for Amon Goeth, often referred to as the Butcher of Płaszów, involves delving into the mindset and driving forces behind one of the most infamous figures of the Holocaust. It entails understanding the psychological underpinnings that contributed to Goeth's brutal behavior as the commandant of the Płaszów concentration camp. This exploration is crucial, as it not only sheds light on how individuals like Goeth could commit such atrocities, but also serves as a broader study of human behavior under totalitarian regimes. The significance of this point in relation to Amon Goeth is immense. By understanding his psychological makeup, historians and scholars can garner insights into the nature of evil and the complex interplay of personal, social, and ideological factors that foster such cruelty. For example, some historians attribute part of Goeth's behavior to the dehumanizing Nazi ideology that encouraged seeing Jews and other minority groups as subhuman, thus rationalizing acts of extreme violence against them. Additionally, Goeth's own personal history of narcissism, sadism, and deep-seated need for power and control could have significantly contributed to his actions. In real-world applications, this psychological profile can be employed in educational settings to teach about the Holocaust, illustrating how ordinary individuals can perpetrate extraordinary evils, thus emphasizing the need for vigilance against genocidal ideologies. Furthermore, it can be useful for psychological assessments in understanding the profiles of modern-day war criminals or leaders who perpetrate mass violence, aiding in preventative measures. However, analyzing Goeth's psychological profile is fraught with challenges and controversies. Some argue that attributing his actions to psychological defects could detract from holding him ethically responsible, while others believe that it provides essential understanding to prevent future atrocities. Additionally, while Goeth's psychological motivations can be examined, they remain speculative since direct clinical analysis isn't possible. Much of what is inferred is based on historical records and testimonies. This examination influences other aspects of Amon Goeth's story by emphasizing the psychological manipulation present in Nazi Germany, contributing to the widespread acceptance and execution of their genocidal policies. It also interlinks with broader discussions around moral responsibility, the role of ideology in shaping human behavior, and the need for education to prevent history from repeating itself. As we continue to grapple with the complexities of human cruelty, Goeth's case serves as a sobering reminder of the potential darkness within humanity and the enduring need to confront it